we are live. Welcome to this random episode on the 10th of March. It is the afternoon, and we're feeling pretty good today. I just woke up a while ago. I slept very late last night, and I just woke up like an hour ago, got my good sleep in. And what was crazy about yesterday is that it was actually not that much of a good day, but close to the end of the night, around 10 p.m., I decided to make up for the rest of the day. And I stayed up till 4 a.m. and I got a lot of stuff done. And I felt so good going to sleep. It was pretty weird how that worked. But I know it's not Women's Day today. It was a few days ago. And I just thought that, you know what? This is a good opportunity to talk about the woman. Okay. It's been a topic for a while. I just never talked about. I think there's a good chance. Happy Women's Day to all the ladies out there. Okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Anyways, woman, happy Women's Day, and just wanted to use this moment to actually share some of what my appreciation. Think of it as an appreciation cast for the women out there. Okay, because I feel, you know what, I feel like it's necessary. I feel like I want to do this, right? And I've been wanting to say these things for a while, and I couldn't think of a better chance. So as a dude, now I can't talk for ladies, right? But I can talk from my perspective as a guy. That what like the true, and I can talk to you guys, right? If you're a dude watching this, and I think is very key to stop for a moment and take a moment to reflect on uh, like what it actually means to have women around in our planet, right? To be part of just, I mean, not planet, as a species. Now, a lot, I say this a lot, and most people give me weird looks when I say this. Like, I don't think they understand it. And I only say this for lack of better terms. But if there were no women alive, let's just assume a scenario where we lived on this earth and there was no such thing as like women, there was just men. That would be a very, very bleak, in my opinion. Like, if we lived in a world where women didn't exist, 90%, I would just feel like life is just pointless. And that's what gives people weird looks. They're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, life is, I don't know how else to explain it to you. But if you really were put yourself in that position, what kind of world would that even look like? If it was just a world of men with no women, I would not want to live there. It does not feel like what, like, just try and picture that for a second. What's the first things you're gonna realize? First of all, it's gonna be a bunch of men just like, frowning, always thinking about the future, always trying to finish stuff, and uh, just just so logical and so rational, right? Because I mean, as guys, that's kind of the mind processes we go through. Uh, we're extremely rational, and that can kind of cut us off from the present moment. The only reason, like, you dress well and you learn how to let go, and get free flowing, stop for a second and pause, is, I mean, I'm willing to argue that is because of women, right? If we lived in a world where there was no, just check out the Gazor on Rick and Morty, where it's just like, all the savages have their own planet, and then the female of that species is like ruling the civilization from far away, and you can just see what just all male, like all that masculine species together just ends up without the balance. It's really messed up. It's really not a world I want to live by. And what's funny is that, like, I don't think it's a bad thing to on myself to say that, my life is worthless without women involved, because uh I would say that, like, again, most of the things that I do on my day to day are pretty much worthless. uh if it wasn't for, again, women. And it's not in the sense that it's not like this desperation thing, or like, women are my life. It goes way deeper than that. So wow, when did I start coming to these realizations? Is the more I read about from you read in a lot of books about the differences between men and women, and even spiritual texts will talk about masculine and feminine, and this, like, Mother Nature, for example. It's like this feminine force, right? Even in some other ancient scriptures, they talk about how heaven is beneath the feet of your mother. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, something like that. Even in some ayahuasca journeys, right? They say that the ayahuasca spirit is a feminine force, and that when you take that ayahuasca, and that the reason it hits you so hard is like this massive, strong feminine force that people associate with their journey. So when you put all these together, you can kind of see how just life in itself is kind of a representation of the feminine, right? You have, and when I say life, I mean just the extreme, like, randomness, and the just life itself, the grit, the whole thing, the dynamism of life has that feminine archetype to it. And especially when you go into, well, nature, like take away that all the civilization stuff, it's very apparent. And well, why I think that life is worthless without the actual women species is because I feel that your partner, or your wife, or your mom, or your sister, or whatever, just women in general, are like the embodiment of the world. Okay, not just nature, but literally they're the embodiment of the world. And when you, let's say you can't deal with women, then ultimately you're already losing, because the world in itself is feminine in nature. And if you can't deal with the volatility and the pressure and how dynamic the world is, then where was I going with this? Yeah, you're losing, because you're ultimately admitting defeat to the rest of the world. So if you can't learn how to appreciate a woman, because look, I know how things are confusing. I know like how it's just confusing, right? Like two things happen to a lot of guys. Is that one, they get into a bad relationship, or they get into a good relationship and it ends well. But basically what I'm seeing is, at least as a modern day man, that it's getting so confusing for some people that they end up in two scenarios. Either that they end up having a bad experience and stay jaded and then start resenting women, or the other one, which is they can't seem to understand women, and then they get confused with their role as, like, how, like, God, I'm losing my train of thought here. But bottom line is, what I'm trying to say is that most dudes will end up a train wreck if they don't realize what the hell is going on. And I already see this. Like I said, they either become resentful of women, right? And they're like jaded, and then they just think that like girls are this alien species. And the second scenario is that they become super practical, of like, they swallow the hard truth of the world, and then they become this weird, creepy kind of they start, like, let's say they have a partner, start adding these really weird rules and really strange, like, if I ever get married, this is how, like, and me as a guy, like, coming into these spheres, I'm seeing this, I'm like, well, I don't want any of these things. Like, these both seem like really, that doesn't look fun. I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like that. Okay. And I don't think it's true. I think it's just because a lot of these guys just haven't been able to let it land on what like what women actually offer. And I think that if they really could see what I'm talking about, of how like the woman embodies, is like an embodiment of the world. If they could look at things like that, then I think they would have a lot more success and a lot more happiness, because you can't keep going on through life thinking that the opposite sex is like something you can't understand, or you can't uh, get along with, or it's so confusing. Like, yeah, first of all, it is confusing, but it doesn't mean that look, the world is confusing. That's what I'm saying. Like, women embody the world. So if you can't accept the, what do you even call these things? I don't even know what the words for these things are. Like, if you can't accept the differences, or rather learn how to appreciate what's already there, you're gonna suffer in life. So if let me give you an example. Let's say you're super reactive to women, right? In a sense, like, you're everything you do is in reaction to them. Now take that mentality and go to this crazy world. All that means is that you're going to be super reactive to the world. Is that a good thing? Absolutely not. Why? Because the entire world is like a system trying to tell you how you're supposed to behave, how you're supposed to live your life, what you're supposed to do, what's acceptable, not acceptable. It's basically taking you away from your core as a man, and you won't be able to even direct your life where you actually want it. Like, you're basically not congruent to yourself, because you're letting the world dictate what a good man is, right? And to you that might sound like common sense, like, hey, I mean, look, the instructions are right out there. No, 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 no. I'm telling you right now, if you are being, look, I learned this in communication. We're constantly being bombarded by messages and media and basically messages. Communication is sending a message. You're completely so bombarded by it that there's not enough even time for you to actually like hear the voice inside yourself. And if you continue living that way, I'm not saying that you're going to end up a train wreck. You might make a lot of money, you might become rich and successful, but it doesn't mean that internally you're fulfilled. And what's the point of you achieving all those things if internally there's a big gaping hole? So that in my opinion, that hole is fulfilled when you can shine your light. It's like, imagine there's a hole, you got to bring that light in from your belly and fill it up and then shoot it outwards. I feel like that's the only way to live as a human in today's world, in such volatility. The only way to stand out, the only way to come out of the noise, and to just to be happy, you just got to emanate from inwards, right? So again, I can only talk for guys here. As a guy, like, you, first of all, you need to realize that women are entirely different from you. Okay, I mean, they can achieve the same things as you. I mean, entirely different is just in the way we process things. We're so different. We're different biologically too, and that's a huge one, right? So you're constantly comparing yourself with your rational thinking to, and then you're confused why you can't understand like women's nature. But if you can't do that, you're not going to stand a chance in the world, because it's, again, if you're reactive to the world, you're going to be reactive to your girl. If you're reactive to your woman, you're going to be reactive to the world, and nobody wants that. Nobody, like, no one resonates with something that's just another byproduct of something, right? You need to be on your path, and you need to know exactly what are the things that you align with internally, and that's the only way you can be at the cause, not the effect, and be a guy truly on his path, right? And the reason women are so amazing is because they actually train you to be that guy. So just by being themselves, I don't even know if they're consciously aware of it, but all I do know is again, it's just like the world. If you're incongruent, the world will punish you. So will your woman. If you're reactive, the world will punish you. So you're a woman. So like, you need to learn how to appreciate women's like natural nature, instead of wishing it was different, or if it was easier, or like, why is it so hard? Instead of wishing it was easier, just wish you were better. Because look, you think it's a women problem. No, it's not. It's you, right? Like I said, look, even if you got all the women in the world to think and behave like men and be, you know, the like end the like, why can't she just tell me what's up, right? Why can't she just, well, what's with all these mixed messages, one these signals? And listen, like, if you need to learn to appreciate these things, because they're nothing more than just a reflection of your nature. So you have to, one, accept these differences between you guys, and that instead of, again, wishing it was different, accept the differences between you and a woman's nature. Learn to appreciate them, because realize that any sort of difficulty you will face from a woman's nature is training you to be a better man in the rest of the world. Don't even look at it as like, this is for my relationship or my partnership. Literally look at it as, look, the better I can get at understanding this, the better a man in the world I'm going to be. Because if you're non-reactive to your woman or your mom or your sister, and when I say non-reactiveness, it means that, because look, with guys, it's very easy to just communicate and send, I can just be upfront with you, you're upfront with me, and then we're just talking, and then we rationalize things, we get there very quickly. But the world isn't like that. Women aren't like that. It's a lot more sub communication, and like, it teaches you to look beneath the surface. It makes you, and look, well, what's super key here is that it's intimacy, right? And I think intimacy makes you really prime to be enabled and triggered by things, and nothing is more closer to that than an intimate relationship. So when you can get good at managing yourself and your emotions, it's not even, look, there are plenty of like toxic women out there. Don't get me wrong. Not every girl is like something you should go for, but you should still be able to appreciate the feminine nature and love it. You should love it. You shouldn't reject it. You shouldn't try to suppress it. You shouldn't try to want it to be different, or to be, easier for you to be able to be better at. I think that's ridiculous. I've personally learned that by accepting these differences, and by getting better at managing my own internal state, and focusing on, my collaboration frame, instead of like thinking of like all these scenarios where I'm not, because look, again, it's back to that whole why can't it just be so simple, straightforward, right? Like, the reason you need to love the volatility of everything is because that's where life is at. That's where the rewards come from. You don't want just that straight path. That's boring. Okay, you want the ups and downs, because again, when you get the rug pulled right under you, you start becoming more implanted and grounded with your feet than someone who's just like always stable. Like, there's nothing more platonic than like what do you call that? A dead what do you call that? When you die and the speedometer just goes a flat line, right? You don't want a flat line. That's extremely platonic. And when I hear guys like wishing for this, I don't think they know what they're asking for. They're just frustrated because they don't understand. And it's not their fault. They grew up, nobody taught them these things. I don't even think women understand the differences between us. But hey, that's why we have this video, right? So, like, learn to not judge the nature so hard, okay? Just like, don't be judgmental. Don't, like, stop wishing it was different. Learn how to emanate your own vitality out. Like, get in touch with your core. Learn how to magnify it and expel it outwards. And if you can accept women's nature, then you'll be able to accept your nature. And you'll be able to perform a lot better in your life. I 100% guarantee it. Okay? So I don't want to make this too long. I actually have a really busy day today. It's 2 p.m. I don't think I got to cover exactly what I wanted to say. Maybe I need to dig a little deeper into these areas, but just want to leave you with one last thing. I'm basically saying the same stuff, but I'm just trying to find better ways to say it. One last thing I'd leave you with is you might think that this is not necessary or it's not something that you need to get good at, but honestly, if you don't, you're so screwed. You're gonna be subjected to so much social conditioning. You're gonna let higher ups push you around. You're not gonna be a masculine dude. You're just not. You're gonna slowly deteriorate until you're like this putty of what used to be called a man, unless you learn how to stop be at the cause, not the effect. Learn to accept women's nature, appreciate it, understand that they're the best training wheels you can get in your life. 100% believe that. Some of the biggest lessons I got was improving my relationship with my mom, believe it or not. That I think that's where I learned a lot of these things, as well as just tons of other experiences. But I'm talking mainly like when I I think my mom was a huge factor in actually understanding or coming to some harsh truths of like the reality of women's nature. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, look, we've grown up conditioned to think otherwise, right? But it's coming in acceptance with that harsh truth that actually makes that truth sweet. And then you're like, oh, okay, there isn't some weird shebang going on. This is actually, I just didn't know. Like I was just not in touch with yourself, right? And again, I 100% implore you to learn these things and to learn how to appreciate women's nature and accept it and stop being so judgmental, and do it for you. Don't even do it for the women. Do it for yourself, because the only way you can give your gift to the world as a man is to be at the cause, not the effect. And women will help you do that if you let them. You have to trust their feminine wisdom, and that if you were truly a guy, like if you're the man, okay, you're gonna know from girls. Okay, so you don't have to keep analyzing what's going on, or like, why do they not mean what they say, and etc. It's not even about that. Like if you're acting from your light, if you know how to get in touch with yourself and be at the cause, not the effect, everything kind of fixes itself. Think in collaboration frame, be at the cause, not the effect. Stop being so judgmental. Realize that these truths are out here to benefit you, not to make life harder. Wish you were better. Be better, not bitter. And damn, the last one was super key. God damn it. Wish you were better, not bitter. It's something to do with the nature. They man, that was the most important key. I lost it. God damn it. Wait. No, I'm not letting this go. What did we say? Stop being judgmental. Cause, not the effect. Collaborative frame. God damn it. I don't want to end this call without remembering. It was like the best one yet. Terp to der. They're the best training wheels. Life, you get good. The harsh truths, swallowing that pill. It's around those lines. Yeah, sorry, I can't remember it. It sucks. And remember, like, oh yeah, trust the feminine wisdom. God damn it. Now, there's a lot I don't understand about that and where it stems from, whether it's mysticism or it's science. Like, I don't care. The point is that it checks out. If you can trust the nature, right? then that automatically puts you in a place where you're at the cause and not the effect, and you're not just like reacting to every single little right. You just trust it, don't judge it, be at the cause not the effect, come from a collaborative frame and realize that, you know what, whatever gender politics or what's going on, however you might feel about things, that in the end, men and women are both human species, and we're all on the same side, and we're all in it for the evolvement and continuation of our species. Don't get hung up on like this one man army bitterness. Like that's just not the way to live. Like I understand your frustrations. I don't think, I mean, look, they're valid, but I don't think they're an excuse to just be bitter. I think, look, this is just not what I've experienced. I think it's an awesome thing. I think we're the best teamwork ever. You can make babies, you can make life. Nothing else can do that. Literally nothing else can do that. Let that sink in for a second, and stop letting people dictate your goddamn mind. Stop letting society tell you how you're supposed to behave. Stop letting like social media tell you what to get angry and be upset about. And just get in touch with your balls, dude. And you'll realize that it's an amazing thing. And I hope that this can simmer in your mind a little bit, and just learn how to appreciate it as you appreciate a beautiful waterfall. Okay. Maybe I'll talk about more of these stuff later. Maybe not. It's not really an area of my interest, but I just wanted to do a special women's episode and share a little bit about my thoughts on, you know, for men, that you really need to go into these things, and don't just let, you know, the information you grew up with be the only thing that dictates like your relationship with the opposite sex. Like it's pretty retarded. You need to get some books. You need to get a coach. You need to do something, or just get in touch with your balls, man. It's really that simple. And if you can do that, if you're just like emanating from yourself, that just solves most of your problems. You don't even, these insights would naturally come to you. So I thank you for tuning in. I really gotta go. I hope, you know, this opened your mind a little bit, or maybe it didn't. I don't care. Anyways, thank you. And I'll catch you maybe later tonight. I'm gonna do some crypto videos because I want to share with you guys what I'm doing so that you can also make money along the way. Now, I gotta go. Thank you so much. Catch you on the next one. Goober out.